Welcome to the Proceed Halftime Report. If you need seed, think Proceed. With us today is District Sales Manager Paul Wyan. Paul, great to have you here, man.
Thank you.
Fun time of year for farmers. It's harvest time. How are the soybean yields looking?
I was out in the field just the other day running combine for a grower. Some of the best soybean yields I think I've ever seen. It is really a testament to what the genetics out there have when or are able to do when the conditions are favorable.
Let's talk about corn as well. I actually was out with a farmer recently in his cornfield, and things looked phenomenal. What are you hearing from farmers about their corn yield now or potential yield?
Corn harvest for many is just beginning. We're getting some, preliminary numbers of what they're seeing, off the yield monitor, and things are looking very good. It's really surprising, actually. So there's some genetics out there that I know have a specific level of performance, and I stand on them based on their ability to carry a farmer all the way through harvest. But the yield numbers that I'm seeing on especially one of these varieties is far beyond what I expected. And I'm very happy with their performances.
Good. We also know a couple months ago you just joined a Proceed, made a change. Why'd you choose Proceed?
Well, I came to a crossroads. I decided that I needed to make a change, and it was basically a decision to find something that adhered to the same values that I did. I wanted a company that focused on the grower from the beginning point, from the initial purchase all the way through the end of harvest. And with Proceed, they seem to have a lot of the same values that I did. And that's why I chose Proceed.
The great choice. Speaking of making a great choice, also want to remind you about the Right Choice program that Proceed has, giving away those great Traeger grills this year. You can find out more at proceed.net, and be sure and stick around. Much more coming up right here on the Proceed Halftime Report.
Welcome into the Proceed Halftime Report. Alex Egan, Ryan Gellner here with you. It's been kind of a weird first half, I guess you would classify it as. Not a lot of possessions between the two teams. I think we saw 2 possessions in the first quarter. It took about 30 minutes of real time to get through 15 minutes of football time, which you don't see very often. Here is the first half highlights, and South Dakota State comes out running the football like we all expected, right?
Yeah. Well, we thought they might run it with one guy, certainly not the running backs, as Wallace moves forward there. Wow.
That right there is something.
That's what Jake Weineke does, though.
Here's the best part. That's Jake Weineke's first catch. This was a 4th down play that they just did not execute, a 4th and goal there. That was Weineke's first catch. His second catch is even better than that one.
Yeah,
King Frazier trying to push the pile there. Tough sledding for the running backs here, so why not go with the quarterback run?
After South Dakota State goes 16 plays and 85 yards, gets denies, North Dakota State comes back with this kind of monotonous drive. 18 plays, 99 yards in 9 minutes. Easton Stick ran 6 times in the first half. He could throw it a little bit.
There he is on the move, hitting Nate Jensen for a big pickup here. And then they kind of bottled up. King Frazier, we thought he got in there, but they rule him just short. So Easton, I think he gets in twice here, actually. Pops it outside. That puts the Bison up 7-0 after the PAT. Stick having himself a good game on the ground, and then we see Taryn Christian. Here's the catch that is just...
Oh, that's unfair. He's got 2 hands and only needs to use 1.
He's got 2 catches, Weineke does, for 58 yards. The defense starting to bend but not break, and that's kind of been the mantra for the Bison this year.
Christian is 8 of 16, 102 yards, and he can run it. 11 carries, 63 yards, but he's taking some dings. NDSU getting to him, getting to the football.
There's another 4th down and goal chance there. Weineke not able to hold on to it.
Great play by Jalen Allison.
The fantastic play. Bruce Anderson getting in on the mix. It's really tough to run.
Just kind of feeling each other out right here, and we'll see which team is going to shake things around.
And here is the last play of the first half. The 49-yard field goal by Cam Peterson. Your first half stats brought to you by the North Dakota Certified Seed Producers. 10-3 our halftime score. Rushing yards, SDSU leading in that category. I didn't think we would be saying that, but again, most of those coming from Taryn Christian, not from the running back. 63, as you said earlier, rushing yards for Taryn Christian.
Yeah, Taryn Christian has 63 yards. Wallace has 24. Kind of what you'd expect from South Dakota State, but when you cover up the score, South Dakota State kind of dominating this football game. They're dominating time of possession. They're dominating plays run. They're dominating the yardage. That's not what counts. North Dakota State, we said earlier in the game, can't just get 3. They have to get 6. They've gotten that once when they were inside the red zone. NDSU continues to do that. They'll win this football game. What matters is, can you score when you're in the red zone? South Dakota State has not been able to.
17 minutes and 9 seconds of possession for South Dakota State to just 12 minutes, 51 seconds. And keep in mind, the Bison used up 9 minutes on their opening drive, which went from midway through the first quarter to just inside the second quarter. Those are your stats. First half stats brought to you by the North Dakota Certified Seed Producers. Anything sticking out to you in this one?
I think that both teams are just trying to feel each other out. I think for the most part, we've seen South Dakota State try to attack the middle of North Dakota State's defense, and that has worked. So the question is, what will North Dakota State now do defensively? Are they fine with what's going on, giving up yards to the quarterback, or will they put a spy on the quarterback, which would limit their back-end defense? North Dakota State has done a nice job defensively, bottling up the wide receivers. That has opened up the middle of the field. Who adjusts and how do they adjust?
We'll talk about the second half in just a little bit, and when we come back, we will talk around the Valley, show you what else is going on in the Missouri Valley Football Conference here on the Proceed Halftime Report. Welcome back inside the Proceed Halftime Report. Our halftime score, North Dakota State 10, South Dakota State 3. Let's take you around the Valley as we've got a full slate of games going on today. South Dakota State at Terre Haute against Indiana State. This game actually into the third quarter, and Indiana State coming out firing. They have tied this game up now 17-17 in that battle in Terre Haute. Western Illinois now holding a 3-point lead. So Missouri State, both teams that were down at halftime, have come out and put touchdowns on the board. That game is now 17-14 in the third quarter. Our rest of our games today in the Valley, there's the big one, I think, besides the one that's happening just up the road in the Fargo Dome. Northern Iowa at Youngstown State.
If Northern Iowa loses this football game, they are definitely on the outside, would need help to get back to the inside. It's a must-win at this point for UNI.
And speaking of must-wins, Illinois State needs to get something. They are 0-3 in conference play. That's unheard of for a Brock Spack coach team. They are hosting Southern Illinois. Both of those games kick at 6 p.m. Central Time. That is around the Valley. We come back, we'll talk second half adjustments right here on the Proceed Halftime Report. Welcome back inside the Proceed Halftime Report. North Dakota State up 10-3 on South Dakota State here at the halftime. And Ryan, what did you see in that first half? What needs to change in the second half?
Again, feel each other out, figure out what's going on. North Dakota State, I think I'd be surprised if they don't start pounding the football. 19 rushing attempts in the first half. They do what they do, and that is run the football, and you'd expect to see North Dakota State now with a 7-point lead to start to impose their will on South Dakota State. On the defensive end for the Bison, I think there's a concern right now with Jalen Wimbush, who went out in that second half, which looked to be something to the head area. He sat out the rest of the half. Number 2, Quentin McCoy, is in for North Dakota State. Now, I would expect South Dakota State to try to identify where number 2 is at on the football field. Go ahead and throw it at him and see if they can get maybe an easy one over the head of number 2, which is Quentin McCoy for NDSU. That's big for me.
We've seen the circus catches come from Goddard and from Winnicky. We've seen Taryn Christian run the football pretty effectively. South Dakota State is kind of having their way. They've got 52 more yards than North Dakota State. They've also ran 35 plays to just 28 for North Dakota State. So running the football, I think, will be paramount for the Bison if they try to, get back in this game.
Big. Win is a win. If you can get the win, no matter how you do it, you'll take it at this point.
The score is the most important number on the scoreboard.
Certainly at the end it is.
That is the truth. All right, that'll do it for the Proceed Halftime Report. We'll send you back out to the Dome. Brian Sean, Lee Timmerman, and Beth Hool for second half action.